So I was recently like scrolling through my news feed and I noticed that Disney now owns 60% of Hulu. Did we even know they were like in talks with them? I mean, I always knew they owned a certain percentage of it. I think it was something like 20%. They own 60% of Hulu now. Like, so they have full control over it. It's just so weird to think about, because it seems like every month or so I read Disney acquiring some huge company. Like, they're just buying all their competitors, aren't they? I mean, didn't they buy Fox like, 3 months ago? And that was huge. And it sort of just raises the question to me about how much does Disney own at this point? Which I have to tell you, they own a considerable amount of the market. Like, I'd say about 60%, maybe 80% of everything that I typically watch in my free time, like, they own it. By the way, guys, if you take a look at the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time, Disney owns 8 of them. Just let that sink in. One company owns 8 of the highest money-making movies of all time. People are always saying like they're afraid of Amazon's growth because they just keep buying new things and they keep expanding. And, no market is good when one company owns such a big fragment of it. It looks like, to me, Disney owns well over a third of the entertainment market, just in terms of movies, television, animation. And we might not even know the content we're like watching is Disney's. And holy shit, guys, Disney is a fucking Goliath. Just looking at this chart, just look at this. Look at all the shit that Disney owns, man. First of all, let me just start with the big one, which is, of course, 21st Century Fox. X-Files, Ice Age, Kingsman, Avatar, Alien, and Predator. All of the diehards. Every X-Men movie in existence. They own Deadpool now. Fantastic Four. I'm really excited to see what they do with Fantastic Four because the last one was... Also, I should point out with Fox, they also get the FX network, which hosts a lot of good shows like Atlanta. And by the way, if you haven't seen Atlanta, I highly recommend it. It's like honestly one of the best shows on television right now. Guys, keep in mind, everything I've said this far has just been like Fox properties. All right, I might as well get to Disney's 2 bread and butter money makers that just bring them cash no matter what. Like, they could release garbage with these 2 studios and everyone's still gonna see it. Marvel, Stan, and Star Wars. Do I really need to get into specifics about Marvel? I mean, we did just see how Endgame did, and we've seen how Infinity War did, and basically every Marvel movie, like even Captain Marvel, which in my opinion wasn't even like great, like it did amazing because it leads into Endgame. Like, they planned it so perfectly. They're like, let's throw this movie in the middle of these 2 amazing movies and these people will feel like they have to watch it. And I did. I'm just going to put all of the MCU movies up on the screen right now. I don't think I need to say more about it. Just think about how many of these movies you've watched. Just be honest. Out of all these movies, how many have you watched? I'm going to be honest. I've seen all of them. And I've seen most of the Avengers 3 times each. I saw Endgame 4 times. Disney with Marvel has created a series of movies where like you feel you have to watch the next one, even like if it looks uninteresting. Like, I went and saw Captain Marvel, but I wouldn't see it unless I had to. I'm gonna give Disney this. Whatever they paid for Lucasfilm, which I have no idea, maybe if I find the number later, I'll put it on the screen. Any number you pay for Lucasfilm will pay off. Think about it. It's Star Wars. Like, you have to go see Star Wars, no matter what. Like, you have to. It's Star Wars. It's a cultural phenomenon. Lucasfilm could make a movie about Chewbacca going to Starbucks and then getting the wrong coffee and complaining for an hour. And you know what? I'd go see it. I don't even understand Chewbacca, and I'd go see it. On a side note, if The Mandalorian is garbage, I'm going to cancel my Disney Plus subscription. Even though I don't have it yet, but I will. I'm lying. I'm never going to cancel my Disney Plus subscription. They literally just confirmed a new Star Wars trilogy, and Disney, can you just like slow it down with the Star Wars? I mean, it used to be special, but now there's like literally a Star Wars every year, and I don't need a Star Wars every year, Just let me live with The Last Jedi for a minute. Maybe space them out over 3 years. I would love that. I'd love to wait 3 years to see a new Star Wars because I feel like the suspense is like half the fun, God, I miss George Lucas, though. All of this being said, though, a Star Wars Avengers crossover would be... I'd watch the shit out of that. Just keep it in mind, Disney. Star Wars, Avengers, Han Solo, maybe time travel. You just did time travel in Endgame. You know, think about it. I can't think of a story right now. Maybe Ray meets Doctor Strange in a bar. I don't know. You guys ever heard of the ABC, the American Broadcast Company? I don't know. Disney owns them too. Grey's Anatomy, The Bachelor, American Idol, Modern Family, an Emmy award-winning show, Jimmy Kimmel Live. At this point, it'd be easier to list the things that they don't own. Okay, so let's start animation. So they own Pixar and Disney Animation Studios. Now I know that might be confusing to some because it's kind of interesting. They own two separate animation departments. There's the originals, which were Disney Animation Studios, and they're like responsible for the princesses and all the classics like Lion King. And Pixar came later, which, started with Toy Story. Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and Cars. All those franchises, they're Pixar. Disney Animation does make movies now. I bet when Disney Animation saw the first Toy Story, they just looked at it like, we're fucked. Disney is literally just printing money at this point. I feel like I've come off very negative towards Disney, like I don't like them owning all these properties, but that's not the case, actually. They've done a phenomenal job with what they've bought and owned. Like, they bought Marvel and made it like a bajillion times better than what anyone else could do because they just have the resources to do this kind of stuff. It's kind of a scary thought when one company owns so much of the market, though. I guess you'd call it like the entertainment industry, whatever, but they own so much. I think like their only real competition is probably Comcast. I'm genuinely worried about other services like Netflix or HBO because I know HBO just ended Game of Thrones. And like, what else does HBO, have? I mean, they got Westworld, I guess, but like that, it's not Game of Thrones, Disney Plus is gonna fucking gut Netflix. Like Netflix's library just went down like 40% because they lost Fox, they lost ABC, they lost all their Disney content, they lost Marvel, they lost Star Wars. I really hope Netflix has some good originals planned because Disney Plus is looking pretty good these days.
Hey guys, running late to class, so I won't be able to finish the video. Well, I can, but I don't know, I'm lazy as shit, so remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't, you can just suck my dick.